on YouTube. This is my left hand up, by the way, and I'm currently holding my phone with my right hand. I've decided to come over and do this live on YouTube because if I do it over on Facebook, Facebook now has decided that after so many days, it automatically deletes your videos and I lose the video. Right. So for those that do watch, those that don't watch, this is a diary for me, and for those that do watch, I'm just going to try. I've got my charger in my phone at the moment and I'm just trying to balance it. So the photograph on the, hang on, right, so I'm just balancing my phone. So the photograph that's currently on my timeline is a picture of Bill Gates, and he's basically saying that AI, artificial intelligence, will take over. Let me just try and hook something over under my phone. I can't hold it in my hand for too long at the moment because my blood vessels and body is going completely crazy. So basically, Bill Gates has said that AI will take over GPs, doctors, medical. Most people within the content creator world or information distribution or people within fields of technology are obviously very, very, very aware of artificial intelligence, computers, robots, things like that. People who've been through the education system and are working just in, I don't know, maybe fields are green. Is the grass greener on the other side? So basically, as somebody who through my life has had to deal with GPs, consultants, nurses, doctors, different fields of doctors, different department of doctors, children's social care, adult social care, the education department, and all these things that irritate the absolute fuck out of me. I have an assessment coming up on the 7th of May that is non-qualified in the condition. They are just there to transcribe anything I say. So basically, when you share information with the system, you are sharing information with a human being. When you share information with AI, you are not sharing information with a emotional being who's got to take on other things. It's all done on how it's stored. Now, one, I've got Simon Squibb's book. Two, I've got the Make Britain Great Again. And if you know, Step Up Britain was about putting the great back in Britain. So this is not my statement. This is not my logo. This is a hat that I have purchased along with obviously everything else that is going on. I have spent the last couple of days speaking to people who want to help me. And they basically want to help me create financial stability so I can pay a solicitor, pay a barrister, pay a QC, pay a judge, pay a policeman, pay a social worker, pay an MP. That's good. So basically, we get justice as long as we can pay people to say what we want them to say, basically. So on the 13th of December 2012, police officer and social workers came through my door, basically ordering me to take Aaron and Faith up to Milo Hospital in Wrexham, where Aaron and Faith were coerced out from the hospital into a Volkswagen by a social worker, as she called herself. And I'm just trying to remember her name, but I will always remember PC Stephen Lewis's name. I have upheld complaints against PC Stephen Lewis and another police officer for, I think it was called, incivility and impoliteness, which basically resulted in the confiscation of 2 of my children. I'm a mother. My name is Kellie. I live in England. I live in Portsmouth. And I am known to any person around here that chooses to take a photograph, upload it, put it onto social media without my permission, and I've never given my permission for anybody to take photographs unless I have stood in for we are having a group photograph. Right, my phone, is hooked on top of my charger. I do not work in a studio. I am not paid by anybody, and I am just about to go through a PIP assessment. This is personal independence payments. When I first was on disability living allowance and had a disability pass, which basically said that I could park a car into a disabled space, that is a blue badge that sits on the dashboard of your car, and it has a disability, and it basically says that this person can park in this space because they have a condition that results them to do so. In order to have those things, you have to be deemed disabled by the system. Yes, I am on a live. Is it really important, or can I carry on?
What do we have?
Well, Dad's dealing with that now. Right, so can I carry on? Because I'm right, cool. I'm on YouTube, not Crackbook. So basically, I'll be 47 on the 17th of May, and I have returned to my place of birth. The reason that I have returned to the place of my birth is because within Great Britain, within England, they have this law that is about care of duty, statute duty. The council is pretty much volunteers. Police are pretty much volunteers or have a salary base. So basically, here in England, so if I talk about Britain, I'm talking about England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. We are an absolute tiny, tiny, tiny country. Hello there, Adam. We are a tiny, tiny, tiny country. I have a map on the front of my window that leads outside that shows Africa and Europe and how tiny said Great Britain is, with people just getting floating dinghies and kayaks and going off on adventures. Some of it is a little bit more strategic than that by said the military, which is NATO, which is the British Army, which is America, and then obviously China, Europe, and there's border controls. I am 5'2". I have spent my life fearing what would happen if I was ever gang raped out on the streets. That's a really silly thing for any person to worry about. But I'm a woman and I'm a female, and I have been through sexual assaults and attacks throughout my life previously, or been in situations that I haven't been able to get myself out of, as has many young girls and adult women, especially here in the UK, where they say that we have people who are classed as special needs, people who are vulnerable, people who are classed as victims. I've been over onto TikTok and I have seen so many young mums crying because they're trying to get through Mother's Day or a birthday or Christmas that's gone, or these holidays that we have here in England. I talk from an English point of view because I cannot talk about any other structure. Here in England, I can't even talk to you from the points of views of people that can go out around London for breakfast, dinner, lunch, tea, go to see a show, go to see a concert, go to a movie, go and eat out on a Sunday and pay for their entire family to eat lobster, drink champagne. I don't like champagne. I don't like pink champagne. I do like what is it? What was it my mum used to let me drink? Asti Spumante. As somebody who has worked in many different fields and jobs along the way to try to find some form of place where I fit in or stand out or can work in co-symbioticness, and I do that every day, all day. But what we don't do is sit down and work out how much each person's time has cost. And that could simply be a bunch of parents on the park and a child falls over, and one might have a tissue, one might have a baby wipe, one might move everything for the child to sit down, and then it's a decision on whether or not you bring in the services. Here in England, we have what at this particular point is called the NHS. In America, they have a privatized system where people have health insurance. As an individual here in England who has travelled, I haven't travelled the whole world, but I have when it comes down to mathematics. When you do mathematics, one of the exams is to travel the world. That is your multiple times tables, and you cannot move on until you have completed, for those that understand the English curriculum. So I wondered, and still wonder, and just to bridge the gap on what I'm saying, prior to Aaron and Faith being taken, I had just sorted out all of our paperwork, as in mine and my children, because up here, if this is a purple passport, and the passport will change. That's going to happen whether you like it or not, because we are not in control. I don't get up every day to turn the street lights on for you. I don't get up every day to make sure the park, well, actually I do get up to make sure that the parks are clean, but only the surrounding parks that I'm at, and that's an ex-army wife thing, and it's a mother thing, and it's also a personal thing that I do, obviously, as people know, on other matters, and also because sometimes I just like to be in nature, and while I'm there, I really fucking hate litter. Like, I really hate litter. I do not like to see a beautiful park with people that have left crisp packets. But could I do that as a full-time job? No, because it hurts my back. There are people in England that have been worked to the finger and bone, that are injured and too full of pride to ever take help. The challenge with taking help in England is there is always somebody jealous, envy, pissed off, wants to know why you've got something that they've not got, because they're all stuck in the same system where every year charities are in competition for the budget. Not one of us gets up in the morning. Now, I'd be very interested if there was somebody from said federal banking that works in the banking system that prints the money and hands it out and distributes it to people every day. But as far as I'm aware, me sitting here right now, I have no cash in my pocket. I have a bank card that is running out of money very quickly. Elon Musk has just tweeted scam of the century, because obviously I am under investigation. I've been under investigation since 2010, and I have been under investigation since way before that, through the Department of Work and Pension, through tax, and through the mental health police and things like that. People want to know what the fuck is wrong with Kellie. Well, what is wrong with Kellie is every day, in every way, and getting stronger and stronger. Yes, every day I am up against the 9-to-5ers. And the 9-to-5ers, wherever you live, so wherever you live, I don't know about how it works within the countries that you're in, but within the country I am in, we're broken down by cities, counties, countries, villages, and then I think it goes, there's lots of other different things. And to anyone that can bring that down even better, that would be great. It's voting season here in England, which means that we are voting to elect councillors. That's the council. The council are the people that keep the streets clean. They send out the cleaners. This has been privatised to people. Portsmouth tried bringing it back, or have done, hence why Portsmouth is doing its best in comparison to other councils at the moment. Portsmouth City Council has had to deal with the last 9 years of every time I am absolutely petrified, shitting myself, because I've ended up with the services at the door as a result of a website that challenges me every May, Hypermobility EDS Awareness Month. Every May, a community of people that are part of EDS UK or the Hypermobility Society or Bendy Bots or anything, The challenge with individuals is they always think they can do better than somebody else, and they think that they can redesign the wheel. You can't fucking redesign the wheel. There's no point trying. Yes, you can make it fatter. Yes, you can make it thicker. Yes, you can adjust it to different grounds. But a circle is a circle, a square is a square. That's not going to change. Now, I'm just trying to keep my phone balanced. I need to renew my passport if I wish to travel. In Germany, and I'm getting off point now, but in Germany, they would call it jaywalking if you do not produce your ID on a stop and search. Martial law has been held off for about 10 years here in the UK so far. Here in the UK, it is but the 5 people you can count on your hands, maybe one that you all fall out with, that are basically groups of individuals that have come together and they do workshops, seminars, events, conferences, and then we have festivals, and then we just have people that move around and integrate with each other, which they find so fucking damn difficult. Free range chicks can't have that in this country now, because what the fuck's she gonna do next? On guard, people, we might have a health and safety catastrophe here. So it's all about policing the people, isn't it? So at the end of the day, I have just spent 10, 15, 20 years, as well as the years previously that with my own family, my own friends, the universities and whoever, because at the end of the day, it's about making life easier. It's about being able to manage your homes and all this stuff so you can function as an individual, get on with your day, so to say, yeah? I'm very pinnacle in all of this at the moment, because what I have usually found, whether I've been course rep, departmental rep, or faculty rep within the university setting or education setting, as whatever they want to call it, form captain, captain of netball, captain of football, captain of athletics, whether you compete for the council. So the majority of people that want their children to go to school here is because they want their child to have an opportunity to be within the Olympic structure, or say football or boxing or anything. It wasn't that long ago that people used to go to football matches, hand their children over to the other side and abandon them. And that's what's happened, because those children would immediately go into foster care, into that area, go to a school, and they would be in a better situation. I'm having kids soon. I fear they may get taken. Oh, I won't talk to you about this, but yes, you would have them around you. I'm not going to say you wouldn't, because you would, but you're in Portsmouth. And actually, I think you'd make a lovely father, to be honest. So, congratulations, Charlie. Like, yes, obviously, I'm aware that your life situation here. So, yes, you already have them in your life. And it would probably be a good idea if I talked you away from that completely. But don't never fear. Never fear, never fear, never fear, never fear. That's what they want, okay? So never fear. What you've got to be able to do is show how you can parent and how you will function. Or you just don't deal with them whatsoever. However, your situation is slightly different to mine. So, and I don't know who is the mother. So I can't comment, I'm afraid. But you do know how to find me, and you do know how to just catch me, have a coffee, have a chat, and that's fine. So I will speak to you soon, Charlie. Congratulations. You know what? All I will say is congratulations, because nobody has ever congratulated me when I have said I'm pregnant, and I have never been congratulated properly, or any of my children celebrated, and every life that comes into this world should be celebrated, because it's I always say to people that can't have children, if you can't have children, it's because you haven't earned the right and the blessing to have children, and that's not our fault. Those that have been blessed to have children, we have been entrusted to, one, create a baby in our wombs, um, and carry them, and the sperm enters, and this is why I say it's really important not to lie to people anymore, and not say things about Mary being a virgin and Father Christmas coming down the chimney and the Easter Bunny, because it, one, you lose the true innocence, and people try to protect children and actually end up harming them. And my dad and mum have done it by lying to me, and they think they're protecting you and they're not. And the same with medical, everything's done behind people's backs. They think they're protecting you, but they're not. And the reason that we brought this transparency movement forward was because things were happening within secret courts and people were not able to have a voice. The fact that, as you all know, this is a public space and Charlie has written what he's written, and within the structures of a GP, and this is what I came on to talk about, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's happened to most of the GPs and doctors since lockdown, and a lot are dying and are dead, and a lot have been replaced by AI, and a lot have been replaced by medical scanning medical scanning units, and a lot of it has all been about DNA research, and all the funding has been in DNA research. Over in America, it is now law that every child born in the States has their DNA taken at birth. That is not in England yet. But the way things are going, it's going to be standard. The sad thing is Charlie's baby will be the last generation of human children if we don't get this sorted. And this is true, because they are creating children from stem cells, artificial wombs, and are being created so they'll, in 30 years, the 30-year-olds, they're not human. So all them people who are talking about, I'm human, by the way. I'm what's called a Madafri. I am flesh and blood. I bleed. I am not a robot. I am a human. We are the final last breed of humans if we don't get this fucking sorted immediately. They are quite happy to dim us in. They are quite happy to deplete the oxygen. They are quite happy to vaccinate and kill most of us off. And the only ones that they are keeping is those that can make the robots, make the humanoids, and run the computers, which is the quantum machine and the AI and something else. And I haven't got the knowledge to go any further, other than tell you that it is public knowledge about solar geoengineering and stratospheric aerosol injection. I was always telling the truth about what I could see with my eyes. I spy with my little eye something in the sky that is not a cloud. My brain, there are 5 clouds. My brain, the sky is blue. It's sunrise, it's sunset, rain, snow, wind, sun, and anything else doesn't compute. So when I see Ceres clouds in in summer, I start questioning what's going on. I have been watching the sky since I was born because I was always in an open pram to see the sky laying on my back. Nurses will tell you when you bring a baby into the world, if you're in a hospital, that you cannot sit and hold your baby. This is all health and safety. This is not natural. Talking about the breast is not natural. It is natural to feed your child straight on the breast. There doesn't need to be a label for it, because it's not something you need to study, because it's something that you do naturally. And to sit and watch somebody feeding their child, be it animal or human, is actually inhumane and actually considered quite sexual and perverted. To have so many satellites up in the sky and so much surveillance, and people are not catching the bad guys, people are silencing the good. People cannot cope with natural ability because they can't claim ownership to it. Lots of people have gambling problems, and gambling is a massive problem within this society, and at the other end of it is people fighting. War is profitable because they fight and gamble over a winner and a loser. The family courts, the justice courts, all these courts is a winner and a loser. There is a defense and an attack. There is a prosecutor and a defender. And then there is justice of peace and judge. Most of these are volunteers. Most of the magistrate judges are volunteers. Most of the people who sit on a judiciary or within the what you call it, in that box where you get people. When I came to Portsmouth, straight away I was asked to do jury service. So those that sit in jury service are predominantly volunteers. I have tried to explain to our MP, which at this particular time is Keir Starmer, when I came into this, you need to have a look how long I've been messing around and how the MPs all keep moving. I'm gagged for 2 to 3 more years until Aaron and Faith turn 18. I know through my experience that I walked out of foster care at 16 and 1 week, and I know that my children can do that. I know that I'm not in a situation for Aaron and Faith to knock on the door and be able to give them the stability when I'm not even currently fully. And I'm not going to give people the words, because when I said at Save the Family that I didn't have a routine, I meant I didn't have a routine. I said I need to do what you call a healthcare, and I call a personal trainer. So at the end of the day, we'll having AI take over our medical. So I'm focused on the 7th of May. In that time, I'm going to be holding myself accountable, coming on live to do this, because it holds me accountable and keeps me going, even when I feel like I want to burn all the paperwork, or I want to burn people, or I want to jump off the top of a fucking car park, or I'm just having a massive big battle in my mind. And for the sake of anybody that wants to report this, it's okay. And every psychologist said with what she's going through, she's stressed, and if she wasn't saying it, we would worry. It's the fact that she's saying it, we're not fucking worried. Now, if she goes really fucking quiet and we don't hear from her, but we're alive, and she got boots on, then we're gonna fucking worry. So anyway, it's summer heading into said spring. There is a lot of people who are English who don't even have a passport. They've never left the country. Most of them have never left their city. And a lot of people is because they live under PIP. How far can you walk without further deterioration? Trapped in the system. Trapped between what you can't do on your worst day and your best day, and everything in the middle, moving between pain and pleasure in a dogmatic system that, even though they don't cane us anymore, they still do oops upside us up the head, and they do it in such a way through credit scores that already exist. And now we're going to have social credit score system, and that means what you say on social media. And I am glad that they're going to be blue dotting us all, because that will prevent people from claiming to be someone. And for the benefit of anybody that did want to check my ID and confirm that I am who I am. Oh, that's not actually my passport. My driving license is in the back, so I am who I am. All my names and forenames are all the same. It's just down to marriage or divorce through my... Oh, it is my passport. So it is my passport. So that expires October 2006. Actually, I could do with knowing people who have already been in and out. So basically, from May the 1st, the digitalized system will be pushed. Now, I want this to a certain level. What it is that I don't want is the power and control that comes from the United Nations. In terms of my medical and the point that I came on this live, prior to Aaron and Faith being taken, I had just sorted out our cards, our European travel insurance. So whenever I used to book what we call a holiday, so during school holidays, you go on holiday, you go down to the travel agents, you decide where you go, you either pay it in full, you put a deposit down, and for a year consecutively, you pay for your holiday in the same way. If you're used to financial structure, that's what you do, or you can buy it outright, whatever. Or some of us, like me, we go in last minute and we take a cheap last minute, boom, 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 and get whatever you get. But you book travel insurance. My experience, even with school, I cost the school a fortune in Holland, and a video of me dancing around Amsterdam has been found. That is me. It's quite funny. That's when I was about 14. I used to travel all up and down the country and all different things for loads of different stuff. And whatever I was competing in, whenever I wasn't competing, I just had headphones on and I just danced wherever I went, walked across walls, tippy-toed against things, and I never really have coped with the people around, and I just do what I do, and I've been like that my whole life. If I'm inverted and in my shell, then that's not good, and you have to go, come on, get out your shell. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what label you put on somebody. It's about where you work. Can you do the job, and can you leave your personal life at the door, get the job done, tick it in, tick it out, fuck off, and have no personal relationship? I cannot even be counselled or therapy with anybody, even the fact that I worked within the psychology department. I was within the psychology department, but that doesn't say how I've been helped, or within the churches, or how I have had any form of help or mentoring along the way, because it's not official on paper approved by these people, and I don't stand and get my little bullshit awards, and I don't do all this stuff. So I don't conform to the ways of the world, but by the renewal of my mind. And because it is Romans that put Jesus on the cross, who said that in the first place, I don't mind turning around and saying, but it's in the heart. I don't follow the Bible, I follow my heart. The Bible is a story, metaphors. It's a very powerful. It's not what people say it is. And for pastors that stand there saying that the Bible is where the Spirit is not true. That's in there. So I have a lot of issues with the Catholic Church and the C of E Church. The C of E Church and the Catholic Church pretty much predominate the whole of England, because the whole structure runs through that. Heads up, the royal family have abdicated. They are moving out. It has been done. Nobody's allowed to tell you that. It's completely done. It's a job done. Speak to people who understand the English Constitution. There is one. Speak to people that get that Henry VIII couldn't keep killing and murdering his wives to move on, and he had to actually get a divorce, and that is all man-made, and lots of things are all man-made. But at the end of the day, they are medically harming all of us through experimental medications, experimental vaccinations, experimental this, experimental that. Now they have just informed you they're going to be experimenting with the sky, and they're going to inform you, well, it's already been done. I have been filming and showing you geoengineering, and people have been calling me a dumbass, me mental health. Now, to any multi-agency framework that feels that it needs to be investigating me, get out my way so I can finish my book. And if you wish to purchase my book, you may read that book. And if you wish to pay for my time to come along to speak to your services, then I will do so. But other than that, it's harassment, it's intrusion, it's causing me stress and an alarm. When I'm out and about, I feel that I am being followed. I do believe that through the Department of Working Pensions, Tax, Police, and child protection multi-agency framework, that's some form under there, including the National Crime Investigation Unit. I do believe that there is somewhere or has been investigations along the way into me that has caused me stress and alarm based on the fact that I have had police, social, mental health, RSPCA at the door gives me cause to believe that this is to be true. I will be doing freedom of request. Paperwork has already gone missing. I have explained that I spent years getting all the paperwork into order because at the end of the day, I was left with my entire life gone, my entire home, my family, my children, everything, and just a suitcase full of paperwork that I managed to salvage, rescue, and take with me. All my evidence and everything that I've got. I managed to get that in order, and upon moving here, I believe that it was deliberate to knock it all on its head and tip it all out, so it would mean the way I would have to do this again, because if Portsmouth City Council, there's a billing issue. I've got to try and save some of my websites, and there's a billing issue. Just need to make money. I don't wish for anyone to contribute or fund me because nobody owns me and nobody gets to say, well, I did this for you, so I donated this or I did this. So I'm not willing to be anybody's puppet and nobody pulling my strings, not even the system. I have people say, oh, you're sponsored by the state. If I was sponsored by the state, man, do you not think I would have the upright scanner on my head? Do you not think that I would be getting the correct physio, personal trainer banging me up every morning? Come on, Kelly, swimming it is. Do you not think I'd be living in a home that I'd be able to get out and jump into my pool? I ain't sponsored by nobody. I'm an individual by myself on my own who has been knocked up 7 times. That's 5 different fathers, 4 of which I have children with, and they are not the 4 that are in the photographs that have been on my social media. I don't know if I would ever get a photograph of all 4 of my children, let alone with my children. I think it's amazing for a Eureka Johnson that she's just had a photograph with all her children. So at the end of the day, all I've ever said as a mother is, if I was to die, who gets what I own? Well, right now, I live in a council house. I'm on universal credits. I don't own anything. And if anything happened to me, my children would get my debt. That's literally you. So I don't really want that to happen to them. But the chances are I could live to 120. I could live to 80. I could live to 70. I could go out to the shop in a minute and get hit by a bus. I could go out and have one of these drones shoot me down. I could have the whole police march through my door, section me, arrest me, detain me, not mention anything around my children right now, because if you even threatened that they would be gone, I'm going to turn into somebody you ain't going to want to see. So just don't make them threats around me, because that's really not fucking funny. So I've got a lot of trauma. I've been through police social at the door again. It causes me stress and alarm and nervous system to completely erupt. It's been clear that it's upset Elijah more, and he's just coming out of his shell over it as well. Shiloh has not come out like he did last time, because last time we had this at the previous address, it completely crumbled Elijah to the floor and brought Shiloh into a thing that would even stand and fight a police officer, even all 10 of them. I have just recently had my son, who is upstairs at the moment, pretty much outside with police with tasers. I have informed the education department for these people with tasers that if you ever bring tasers around my children or anything or threaten or intimidate, I understand that we need a system that does prevent people from doing some harm to people. I'm very pissed off with whether or not I will help any parents, because as you know, I marched with a set of parents in Liverpool and the father to my right has murdered his girlfriend. So it's very difficult to know who somebody is, what they're capable of, and what's right, what's wrong in terms of disinformation. So anyway, in front of me, I can see a lawful order and unlawful order, misfeasance, malfeasance, non-misfeasance in public office, coercive control, and reasonable force on my notes up there. I have a book to read to keep me sane along the way in terms of having a break. I am in between two positions, between Britain and England. Oh, sorry, obviously, End It movement, look up, and just to remind that artists have done everything that they can to try to cover up what Look Up was actually about, which was about getting you to all look up and see what was up in the sky and witness the solar geo engineering yourself. This one I wear for whether it's going to be Bitcoin, and then obviously I'm under different colors, and I got 3 more hats up there. Am I under my own branding? No. Why am I not under my own branding? Because then I have to pay tax, income tax, and everything else, and legal fees. I now know it's an N1 form to open up and an N50. I have always been aware of these forms, but I haven't had the certainty that this is the filter that I now filter all my paperwork into. Obviously, as with everybody, you have a book of notes as you go. And I literally now will have to go and get an N1 form and start bringing this up for the PIP thing. Will give me a chance to focus on all my medical, to complete the genealogy from when I was born up to now. And then I've got to prove when I haven't been to hospital, why, and if I've got any evidence online of that injury to prove that I haven't called an ambulance. I've actually begged my local shop that if I ever pass out in the shop, please do not ring an ambulance for me. If the boys are not with me, then Dean will be at the house. If the boys are with me, then get the boys to ring Dean. But do not ring me an ambulance. And there's a reason for this. And there's, as you will see, lots of sexual assaults and abuses are coming out within these networks. Some of it is to bring our system down. Some of it is because of the Americans, the disinformation, because they want it to be taken over by AI and machines. I'm going to go as far as I can go medically without crossing my Christian values, or what I call my intuition. They're not going to let me film anything that is not on the stock market or not known to the public. The back of my head is starting to really hurt yet again. Sometimes I think, am I going to wake up in a dream and pull it out like in the Matrix? But I hope not. It's classed as a Chiari malformation. The condition is hypermobility EDS. I'm diagnosed with Asperger's. I'm considered a master dyslexic, and most of them would say, Kelly, you're ADHD. Whatever label you want to give it, the name is Kelly. It's because my dad had a crush on Kelly LeBrook, a woman, because they needed to find us by genders. I've had my implants taken out, as people might start realizing that there's nothing there for anyone to look at anymore. No, I have not been transgendered. However, when I was a child, they used to call me a tomboy, and they did try to stop my periods, and it's all in my paperwork about my periods and how to stop my periods. So anyway, I wanted to come onto YouTube to catch up, to put this out for those that are here, those that do know, those that do get it. If you do see me around, I really, really find things very difficult. I would appreciate a smile and wave, a locals nod or something. And if I'm really focused and I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm really sorry, but we are trying to do our best to integrate in a place that we call a fucking hellhole. And Hampshire and Portsmouth Police and Social Services and Council are the probably most corrupt here in England, alongside Southampton, Blackpool, probably Preston, and a few others. Is it just good people getting it wrong? A lot of it. Does it come because the top is telling the middle what to do to the bottom? I am willing to sit in a wheelchair, be bedbound for nobody, and take medications for no one. Anyway, road to 50 for me. Turning 47 on the 17th of May. I'm thinking of inviting everyone to Portsmouth for this day because it is a Saturday. I think we could utilise this. I don't know how it would work integrating this as a birthday thing. but I think maybe it would be a good thing. We shall see. If anyone wants to organise it, Nick is going to be in Bristol, so that's UKIP in Bristol on the 17th of May. Tony Robbins is going to be running from 15th, 16th, 17th for lining up for the 17th. There's a few other things going on. Do be aware that if you are travelling during school holidays, when you come back, that's when they will see whether you will conform and whether you get back in the country. All I would say is the British Army are behind a lot of it, and I said to step up Britain back in 2010 for a reason. So all I say to the English people, to any person, doesn't matter who you are, I just see you as mums, dads, children, families. And do we need a service if car crashes happen? Yes, we do. And we do. But all I would say to you is there is no authority of power on this country. And there is a lot more going on than people realise, because there are American companies bringing people in to build Universal Studios, the engineering, and all I can say is to the people that didn't get me, that's not my fault, but I haven't deserved, and neither of my children, the length and time that we've been separated, or from my family. So anyway, I have my ups and downs. I have my good days and my bad days, as we all do. All mums and dads do. So I did this to make sure that nobody needed to ever turn to our system that is underfunded, over budget, overworked. People don't know how to help, and it's about building the family structures. So anyway, take care. And Charlie, everything gonna be good. Everything gonna be great. You're gonna be an amazing father. I look forward to meeting your future wife and baby, and obviously make sure that they know that you know me well, and you are welcome to tell them that you can speak to me at any time. Oh, but make sure you let me know if there are any serious problems or allegations that I need to be truly concerned, and how I can ask, because this gets me into trouble, being that somebody's just murdered their girlfriend, stabbed her basically. But no, every child should be celebrated, and that's all that any new first-time father needs to focus on right now, and that is celebrating and getting ready for the birth of your child. Congratulations.